Good morning, friends. I want to talk about mutuality. And what I mean by mutuality in this context is when two people follow each other on a site like Twitter. What that means to me and why I value that mutuality when someone is mutuals with you. A site like Twitter is interesting because you can have a one-sided connection where one person follows another, or you can have a two-sided connection where both people follow each other. And of course, you can interact even if you don't follow each other, but if you follow each other, then you see each other's posts. And, for me, I only let people who follow me DM me just because it filters how much spam I get. My email is on the front page of my website, by the way, so if you want to talk to me, but I don't follow you, you can email me. And I've thought a lot about this over the years, about who I want to follow and when and why not. And there's a lot I could say about that, but with the people that I have followed, I try really hard to see them, to understand who they are and learn about who they are and track what they're sharing over time and kind of make sense of it and build a gestalt of who they are and where they're going in their life, what their goals are, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what their dreams are, what their current challenges are. And I want to see them, and I want to understand them, and I want to be connected to them, and I want to learn from them, and I want to support them. And if there's practical ways that I can help them, if they ask for advice and I have advice on the thing, I want to share that. Or if they make a request for help, then I want to retweet it. Or certainly, if I am in their city, I want to meet with them if I can. I can't always meet with everyone that I'm mutuals with in a given city, but I do like to meet people over time. And so it's a little bit interesting because it's not quite the same thing as maybe full on being friends with someone where, like, my friend River, like, we talk pretty much every day. We text every day. We have phone calls most days. Other friends, I talk to on the phone regularly or have Zoom calls regularly, or I've spent a lot of time with them in person, or we have projects we're working on together. Being mutuals is like the uncanny valley, the eerie threshold between a parasocial relationship and a genuine relationship. It's like, well, you're not quite there yet, but you're also, it's less parasocial. It's not one-sided anymore, right? It's two-sided now. There's mutual interest, there's mutual connection, and it's the basis for genuine relationship. And typically, if you become mutuals with someone, over time, you're going to see their tweets. They're going to see your tweets. Probably you'll reply to each other. Probably you'll correspond in the DMs over time about things you're both interested in. You'll get to know each other better. And then that creates the conditions for even more intimacy. And if you stretch that out on the order of years and decades, some of my mutuals, I literally have been mutuals with for a decade or more, because I've been on Twitter since 2007. You just never know what could happen. It's the conditions for good consequences. You can't predict specifically what outcome will happen, but being mutually connected probably will lead to good things for both of you, provided you're ethical and kind and don't beat each other up, don't get into stupid arguments. If you just increase connection over time, probably it's going to lead to good places, because this is someone that you vibe with, that they vibe with you, that you have mutual interest in each other, and then you're connected over time. And so, this person could be, a really good friend over time, or a collaborator, or, they could reply to your one of your tweets in a way that gives you genuinely life-changing advice, or you could reply to their tweets and give genuinely life-changing advice, or one of you could introduce someone to someone else that ends up being important, or, they have a GoFundMe and you end up contributing to it, or you just don't know. There's so many possibilities for connection, and it deepens in intimacy and meaning and significance and impact over time. Where I mean, if I probably follow, I forget how many people I follow right now, but 1,500, 2,000 or something. With a huge number of those, if you pointed to me and said, what about this person? I could tell you why I follow them, what they mean to me, what I think their vibe is, and yeah, what impact they've had on me, and hopefully what impact I've had on them, what kind of exchanges we've had. And that's going to be huge in variance from, like, I don't know, we talked a couple of times and I like their vibe, to, I ended up really collaborating with this person, or heck, we dated for a while, or whatever it is. There's just this huge range of what's possible. And it's just, I feel like I still haven't really conveyed this well, but it's really obvious to me. It's like a petri dish where, like, if you are mutually connected and you like each other's vibe such that you want to follow each other, and then you just stay connected for years and decades without overly harshing that vibe, without being cruel to each other, or, doing something unethical to each other, then it's very likely something positive will happen, even to the impact of being life-changing for you, or for them, or both. And so I really value mutuality, and as a part of that, by default, how to put it, if I follow something, at least right now, the way that I relate to that as a stance is, I'm going to keep following that person indefinitely. Under certain circumstances, I might choose to unfollow them. I might block them. I have really low tolerance for people being unethical or cruel to me. But in most cases, I'm going to plan to keep following someone. I reserve the right to mute or block anyone at any time for any reason. I reserve the right to unfollow. That is my business. I'm allowed to do that, just as you are allowed to me. But I prefer to stay connected, and I prefer to stay as mutuals. And I feel, sad when a mutual unfollows. It's like, it feels like defecting from a relationship that could have been so good. And often I feel like if you have the social skills, you can kind of just name what's bothering you, or like, hey, I didn't like that tweet. So that's a part of it, is like, if you're mutuals with someone for that long, probably one or both of you is going to have a tweet that you don't like from theirs, that you're like, wow, I thought that was kind of boneheaded. I disagree with that, or I was offended, or I was hurt by that, or whatever. And the way I see it is, like, every mutual over 3, 5, 10 years has the right to make a certain number of, this is how I think of it for myself. They have the right to make a certain number of tweets or threads that I'm just like, wow, that was that was not good. I did not like that. And it's like everybody gets the privilege of having a bad take. I've made bad takes before. I'm sure you can think of them. If you've followed my Twitter, you're like, yeah, I don't like that take. Or takes that there was a truth there, but I wish I'd worded it differently in retrospect, and maybe you wish I had too. And so it's like, yeah, you can roll with the punches of having a bad take over time, but I really value staying connected and preserving the mutual relationship, and developing an intimacy over time where you get to know each other better and have more situational awareness of who the other person is and what they're on about, and then weave your lives together to the extent that it feels good. It's slow over time. It may not be very rapid, and you may not end up as best friends or collaborators or partners but some people you will, and staying connected allows for that possibility. And there's also just a huge gradation of, like, okay, we're not best friends and we don't talk every day, but like, we mean well towards each other. We've learned from each other. We've grown together, and we can support each other in weird ways over time. Like, often, for example, just a really concrete thing, like, if I were to ask for advice on Twitter about something that was a problem, like, probably it's like loose ties, right? Like, the people who are loose ties are going to have really good answers for me rather than the people that are in my immediate circle. It's like friends of friends that are able to help you. So I think having a broad, dense, stable social graph is really valuable and is the conditions for good consequences for each of us individually and for the group as a whole. And so it makes me really value mutuality. It makes me want to preserve my mutual connections. It makes me want to understand people better over time and really try to persuade people to stay mutuals with people. And if there's something that comes up that makes it feel difficult to stay as mutuals, then you can talk about that and be like, hey, just so you know, this tweet really bugged me, or I think you're doing something unethical here. That conversation may or may not go well depending on who it is and what it's about and how gracefully it's received, but I think it's worth putting an effort to preserve mutuality over time because it's the conditions for really good consequences, both individually and collectively. So that's why I value mutuality. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share them in the comments.